I got to babysit my little puppy nieces, Adrian and Maddie, today again. They are quite a lot of fun. Poor Adrian, though. Or I should say poor Maddie. Adrian demands a lot of time. Maddie gets to sit on the outskirts because she's not really a lap dog. So she's not very easy to let onto my lap and therefore pet, where Adrian just likes to jump right up there. So, really? We're starting off already? Alright. Let's see. I like it when it works for a split second and then decides, nah, I'm gonna stop. There we go. That's what I like to see. So tonight's gonna be very simple. I have a few things for the convention on April 4th to do, and therefore one of my big things that I want to design is a banner. Get something for the front of the table, something 2 feet by 6 feet. And you know, to be quite honest, I've never actually designed one before, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun idea. Now I have a lot of space, and that's quite a big deal. Cause I could do quite a bit with it. I mean, I could. This is a banner that I'd like to see overall, be lasting. So there's might be a few designs I go through. I am sorry, it's going to be rather bright. I found a template online for the banner size, and I'm using that PSD file actually in Krita, so we're able to transfer that over. So I do apologize. The screen's going to be rather bright until I start darkening up things. Maybe I can see. Yeah, I should actually. I'll be able to change that. Now things might be a little sluggish because I'm pretty sure this file's really big. Yes, we will see. All right, and design. We'll go with this. Now, actually, the base color is black, so we're gonna do a reverse, because we're going off of my card design really for a lot of this, so I'm gonna just dump in the black and really just make that the base. That way we're working from the right our correct area, correct coloring, which is practically just black and white. Very simple, very straightforward. And like I've already mentioned, this is rather sluggish. That's going to be my only problem with this, because we're working with a really large pixel area. Yeah, 10,771 by 4531. Now let me just bring up my screen now that I have it dark in there. Well, let's see how well it lets me do my thing. Use lighter colors. I'm going to lock that one. So, as you can see, this is going to be rather wide. I got quite a bit, so I could even have BoogieMan over here. I can have BoogieMan inked over here. Yeah. So like I said, I'm thinking about my card design. My card design actually has BoogieMan kind of standing over a wall with the BoogieMan inked right in front of it. Almost like he's probably holding up a sign. Now, if I was to do a similar thing like that, there's also the aspect of... Oh, did I miss it? I probably missed it. Yep, I missed it. If I do that, I can leave... Because now we got 2.5 feet. Would I want to give him a foot? Or would I want to give him half of this? Probably... How about this? There are these specialty lines that I can do. Use, hit shift, and just make a nice solid line across. So with that there, we can easily come in and go, hey, you know what? We got nope. You know what? Because I want it to be... Nah. You know what? I don't like those fingers whatsoever. Now, this is a sketch, so I shouldn't be too finicky about it anyways. But, I'm going to be childish. Making fart sounds. Okay, anyways. Then... Duh. Got. Now, of course, the big thing is that he's got this nice little roundish dome. Now, here's something to consider. There's these guides. Right where the blue is the safe margin. Red is where it's going to be trimmed. Or technically, that's where they'll have a fold over. So that's where I got to be careful. That's the excess. Now that is way too weird. If we want to be correct on his design, technically, yes. Let's get a different position. Let's use this for the more finer lines. Now I can have him favored to one side. That's always a design choice. But we're just going to play around a bit. We're going to figure it out. And by the way, if anyone has a, request tonight, by all means, put it in. Hey, Zara. Nice to see you. So how are you doing this evening? Gosh, I'm not realizing there's no timestamps on that. So. Gosh, I know the convention is not that much. What day is it? It is the 11th. Yeah, it is now less than a month away. That's why I gotta get a lot of this stuff finished and finalized, and I gotta get prints made, and it's all organizing everything here at the end. Oh, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, Really Cool Comic-Con just announced they're gonna have a summer show, and I need to finalize and put in all my information for that one, so that'll be another convention we'll actually be at. That'll be quite a few months away, but something else to work towards. There'll definitely be some rejoicing and happy time, some relaxation, probably work on some bigger projects right after a Really Cool Comic-Con in April is done. Right now it's finalizing and prepping everything. I'm really looking forward to seeing my pins come in. I think that's the one thing I'm really hyped about right now. You know, I'm hyped about a lot of stuff. Because actually I have another, because what is it? With Elric and Kayla and myself having a bunch of art, and now I have another artist on the side that we're trying to finalize stuff, trying to make sure we get everything set up, and hopefully I'll be able to announce him, you know, before Really Cool Comic Con, because I do plan on seeing a bunch of his stuff also on the table. So we're gonna have a few artists actually being featured, which would be really nice. Because the goal is to actually, you know, kind of expand things, get many people to contribute, and get to work on a multitude of things. Because the more artists that there are, more aspects that we can probably expand, and more projects we can work on. And definitely, you know, when we get more people working all in one, there's quite a few interesting minds at work then. Because collaboration is by far one of the best things you can do. We have great ideas, but sometimes when we let it grow and expand with somebody else that's just as passionate, we can see so much more of our idea come forth that we either didn't consider or we didn't know how to bring out in it. And that's the beauty of really, you know, being creative, is just things might be our baby and we might be scared to let it go, but once you do, you can see things really flourish, and it becomes quite something. I think I'm liking that one a bit more. That's a bit frame safe. So, gosh, see, now that I'm trying to think of, this would be sitting in front of the table or behind us, and I'm thinking it'd be the nice banner right in front. I kind of, you know, I've always liked things off center, because anything dead center and everything, it's very nice and formal, and it works, but off center generates so much more interest, because then it gives this feature of just, what is it, not uneasiness, because that's not what I really want to go for. I don't want to make you feel uneasy when you see this. I want you to be interested. Now, of course, here's another thing, is like, we read things from right to left. If I put BoogieMan on the right side, I need the words to capture you first, or he's going to capture you, and it's going to draw you to look to the right side of the banner first before you even take in the information that's going to be on the left. So that's a design aspect, which can be kind of interesting, because we always read from left to right. So in my mind, it's kind of thinking of, would it be too awkward, or would it generate just that little bit of interest that makes you take a second look? This is just me thinking really just deeply on everything I do, because that's what I have the tendency to do. I try to figure out the details. Sometimes it's better just to draw. Don't have to think so hard on everything. But you know, it doesn't hurt to consider the options, what everything means. And if I have that aspect in my mind, then I have a better design choice that I'm trying to work toward or work at. And that's really the overall thing, is trying to get something told, even in the simplest of forms. So this might be a banner, but there's something being told, something that's, you know, drawing you in to take a look. So even something as simple as a graphic like this has a lot of meaning. It has a lot to do with, you know, how we feel about something. Okay. And that's where my hand is. I don't know, maybe I need to get this over to the side more. It's technically on the cards. hands are not overlapping his body. So I'm trying to keep some consistency, but making this unique in its own way. Because again, this is 2.5 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and I have a 6-foot table this is going to sit in front of. And this is, I plan on getting the outdoor ones, so it definitely would be for like art fairs and everything. So there's so many other places I'd like to see us present everything. And and that really is to kind of get interest in the local area. But at the same time, it's like I definitely want to see things grow online. That's a goal. But steady as she goes. I mean, we can't rush anything because I can't. One thing is we can't grow too fast. If we grow too fast, then we might collapse in on ourselves. You got to build the structure and make sure things move up progressively. And on top of that, it's a learning experience for all of us. We're all figuring out how best to present ourselves and present how this all is going to work. Because really, I have a lot of ambition, but I have to remind myself I have to do it in stages. I have to progressively get there. And that's one of the fun things. I really look forward to my future self taking a look back and seeing where we were at this point, and wondering if I'll say it's like, gosh, I was really stupid, man. I made some piss poor decisions, but if I didn't make those piss poor decisions now, I wouldn't have been able to make better choices later. And that's the bigger thing, is like I'm willing to make the mistakes now to make sure that the future becomes that much brighter, that much success, that much builds upon those things. I'm not all-knowing. I've had to come to terms with that, and that's very, very grave for me. Being an INTJ, I have very much deep thoughts, and I have the tendency to progress things to the future very fast. So I can see what I want, but a lot of times I can lose track of the present and how to get there. And that's something I have to always remind myself, keep myself in check with. That I can think grand things, and I can problem solve quite a bit, but losing track of the present, well, I'm not some young chicken anymore. I've grown quite a bit. Gosh, is chicken even properly? I was supposed to say spring chicken. That's the thing I was trying to pull from. See, I made a mistake. Couldn't even remember the freaking thing. But oh well. Yeah, I'm not some spring chicken anymore. I'm just get to learn these things as I go along. I have to regain a lot of my patience that I'd lost over the years. And that's one of the harder things, is I knew how much of a patient person I was before, and there was quite a few things that changed in my life that took that. But at the same time, it's like, can I actually say, was I patient back then or not? I'm not certain. But I believe I was. How a lot of friends actually remind me of that I used to be a lot more patient. So I'm trying to become what I know is already there. We all have things that happen in our lives that alter a lot. We adapt to try to survive. And that was one of my things. Wasn't the best adaptation, but we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. If I was perfect, then there would be quite a few different things. Probably annoy a lot more people. Alright, these hands are rather big, but I'm fine with that. So then, we want his egg-shaped eyes. Now, there's one other aspect that I always had on this particular version, is that he's got the 12-tooth mouth on the business card, and that's his biggest grin. With this, I'm wondering if I want him to have his head twisted so it's actually pointing the other way. That way he's also looking over, because that's another thing, is like just the simple information of where he's looking could tell people to look at that too. Because he's, BoogieMan here is going to be the first thing that draws in what you look. You're going to see that first, and usually that's because it's going to be the most prominent thing. It's already taking up a good 2.5 feet itself width, at least, if not, about 2.5 feet itself on this. And at the same time, like, what am I going to do in all this negative space here and over here? Because right here is practically going to be like the sign for BoogieMan. And inked. So that's what we're going to have as our base design. And that's kind of where I'm going with a lot of this. So yeah. Probably should have done a separate layer, but oh well. And delete. Luckily, we can erase that. So, just by using where he's looking, can generate what I want people to see next. And that's part of the designs. Part of, figuring out how to get the movement of a piece going. In this case, that'd definitely be a good indication of take a look over here. So, if I do that, this is just going to be the base circle, kind of. So we're still going to go egg shape. We're going to make one eye smaller than the other. So he's got the aspect of having his head turned. Not only that, but that just, having it straight on, like I've mentioned before, is just not always appealing for me. I'd much rather see more dynamic and more interest generated than going with the stale plane. Now, see, if I do this, he's immediately drawing your attention over to the information to the left side of the banner. He might be drawing you in, yes. And that also then gives me a bit of a starting point for the 12-tooth.
Hello.
Hey! Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
Welcome.
Sorry if I sound kind of crappy. I have a cold.
Well, I sound like crap all the time. What are you talking about?
For you.
What? I think you sound pleasant.
Yeah. I sound like Grandpa Dexter. Dexter turns himself into an old man.
Young whippersnappers.
Yeah, applesauce.
Ooh, that does sound very good. It'd be very good on my teeth right now, too. What are you talking about? I don't have teeth. These are gums. Yeah.
Well, clearly that's not the BoogieMan talking.
Well, that's...
so many teeth.
Yeah. I erased it because, like, I think... You know what? There's a certain thing I'm not doing. And that is, putting in a reference line so I know where things are going to seat themselves. See, if I just do a simple line and then follow it along, and at the same time, figure out where center is, I could easily go 6 teeth, and boom, be all good. All right.
No, you're gonna make it difficult on yourself.
Oh, of course I was. Why would I do it any other way, especially at first? It's one of those things like you always go, I can skip the basic steps. I could just go right into drawing things. Like, no, don't skip the basics. They're there for a reason. They're there so you have an idea, form, use it, utilize it. I think that's why I always loved drafting class. I loved using the ruler and everything was structured, and I was like, yes, this looks perfect. This is just what I wanted.
And me, I hated drafting class because of that.
I like drawing in so many forms. I love designing structures and such. I think one of my favorite things was actually making the how many? I think it was a 54-story business building, and doing the plan layouts and plans, and then generating it all in was it? It was Rivet, not Inventor. Inventor is for the small mechanical pieces. Rivet was the one that was great for designing buildings. So designing a building in that was so much fun. And not only that, but like if you're ever to design the building, and like this has become like, if I was ever to get it, like say, take that same building and go, this could be the stage for a whole series. Like they all live in this building, like it's nothing else, and like then I could easily have gone, well, then I have it structured out. I have what every floor plan looks like. Maybe I can redesign it so 1 through 20 is designed this way. And actually, I'd done that too, because there's so many floors had a certain layout, another set of floors had a different layout, and it was all the bases, and it was really, really fun. See, I'm a dork. I like math.
Sounds really convenient. We didn't have any computer programs.
Well, yeah, if you don't have the computer program to assist you. Not only that, but actually, I was the only one in class, I think, that broke his computer because of how big his building was. Everyone else doing, like, simple size, like, houses and everything. I go, no, I want a 54-story building.
You broke the computer.
I broke it because the thing kept seizing. Like, I would be working so long. And, like, that was also another thing. Like, since I was also doing a few things that weren't conserving memory, and I got to figure that out. Because, like, there's certain ways to do layouts in Rivet, and actually you can make one blueprint, and then you can technically copy it. What I was doing is I was copying an entire floor, everything, geometrically and everything, and putting it onto next. But technically, it's like you make one floor, and you can say, project it here, project it there. So it's rendering it once, but then it goes, I know that it also exists here, 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 and here. So it's a means of conserving the memory. But I like when you break something, you go, why the hell is this not working? It's like, well, because it's built, yes, to do large buildings like this, but there's a simplified task to keep it from going, the hell are you trying to get me to calculate?
You overloaded it.
Yeah, when you're telling it to calculate 54 stories, and each floor is technically, according to the computer, unique because that's how I made them. then yeah, it's going to go, I am so dead. So it took a few times to realize that I was overloading the memory on that simple feature. Is like, oh, well, I never knew that this feature existed. And it's like, oh, maybe I should read the book more. But that was going from, like you using like 3ds Max and using 3ds Max where I didn't have to concern myself about like that, because mainly what you're designing in that one was like a single, like a very basic object or a character, and you weren't considering like, well, I have to repeat something so many times, and in an environment it makes a lot of sense. You have certain things that repeat. You have a design of a trash can, and that design should be several times. Well, in Revit, you were able to actually say, here's a blueprint breakdown, just copy it. And it would just repeat, it would render it once and then repeat it wherever you told it. And that was the workaround I had to figure out. But that's going on what I was talking about earlier, is that you have to make the mistakes in order to see, find solutions. If I hadn't made those mistakes, I wouldn't have found a better way to do it. Yes, it was frustrating. Yes, I was like, gosh, I wish I'd found that out the first time and didn't have to fuss, but that's not how crap works all the time. Many times you have to make that mistake in order to see the solution. So that's why I'm more accepting of my mistakes nowadays than I had been in my youth. This is old man talk, sorry. I lost count of teeth. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I clearly can't count teeth.
That's a lesson we should all learn with patience.
Exactly. I was a lot, and which is very odd. I was a lot more patient when I was younger, and as I'd grown older, I started losing it. And then when you have a huge transition that occurs in your life, there's one of two things you do. You either become worse or you figure out what you didn't like about yourself before. And one of those things was that I was very patient, and then I was transitioning the other way too rapidly. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that I was losing my patience with things. So it required a lot of effort to catch myself when I was feeling impatient. And that was another thing. Is like in my youth, I'd actually come to terms in accepting that when I feel impatient, usually that's when things, arrived or things came to be. Like simply waiting in a waiting room for the doctor to call you. As soon as I started feeling the moment of like, I'm getting impatient, I would immediately start looking around and I'd go, they're about to call me. And usually within a few moments, that was always true. So I always took my instincts and said, that's just how I'm able to be patient up to the point where I know that it's just about to happen. Something's about to happen. But somewhere along the line, I lost that part, and I just became impatient about everything. And that was the tragedies, that I gave up on my instincts when they were so good to me in the past. And that's what I'm trying to regain, is that notion, that feeling that I used to have. And really it comes down to just learning to trust myself again, that I'd lost those few years ago. But yeah, see here, I'm getting all serious. What is with me making only 5 teeth? My goodness. It's like I can't get this breakdown right. Well, let's try to figure this out. So we're going to break it down in half.
Maybe you could make another, like that middle line. Maybe you could,
yeah, I'm trying to
put points, like little dots. Point of the teeth are going to be.
Yeah, like right now I've broken down a secondary, so I know that I need 3 teeth between each of these horizontal lines.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's trying to think, if I broke that down further, then that would be something like this. Trying to break that down, those lines, 2 more each. See, 'cause if I do this, then this will be my reference saying you need this many in order to get all your teeth. So that's
If you
1,
didn't have the pupils, it kind of looks
2,
like a silly
3,
Jack
4,
Skellington.
5. Ooh, that's where my problem is. Oh, he looks like a Jack Skellington. Well, maybe that's part of my design where I pulled from. I mean, BoogieMan is meant to be kind of creepy, but adorable. And yes, we pull reference from a lot of things that inspire us. And you know what? The Nightmare Before Christmas is an awesome, awesome tale. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that's where the problem is. I need to do this. Maybe that's where each point is a tooth. So yeah, let's try that. So if we do that,
Nom nom.
bring it in, then actually this is going by so much faster. See, people, do not waver on doing basic stuff, because a lot of time he'll just make your life easier. Because by doing this,
it takes a long time, but it will be worth it. It'll save you time.
Exactly, because then you won't be sitting here like I have been. Dang it! Actually, I did mess that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I have 6, but therein lies the design problem. But I see it now. But you know what? I'm
5.5.
Well, yeah.
Or 7th one in the middle.
Let's see how far I can go back. Not far enough. Okay. But I'm trying to figure out. So then, how do I do this? We want 1 there. 2. 3. 4. 5. And this is where the problem is that technically it's not just one giant tooth in the middle between these two. There's an additional one. So I need to space this out a little bit further. Just out 1 more beyond. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a second. I'm just starting it wrong then. So 1. 2, 3. 3 licks to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. The world may never know.
I put my mic on mute so I could eat without making too much noise, and I just sipped water and almost spat it out.
Because of my stupid little comment?
Because as soon as you started going 1 and 2, I was like, 3 licks, and then you said it.
Yep.
Dang it, Nathan.
I know.
Well, at least it didn't come out my nose like coffee did that time.
Yeah.
Curse you.
I know. I'm such
Curse
a jerk.
you and
I'm
coffee-nosed shenanigans.
You know, I can't help it that I have such epic timing. My jokes are phenomenal, I know.
Curse you and your jokes and your timing and everything else. Curse you. I need to have like a clip of Zim's voice saying that.
Actually, you know, that kind of works in some awkward way. And I like it. See how that bass structure seemed to help people? It makes the difference. Actually, I'm really liking this. Because this is going to be the banner, by the way. I found a really good deal on a banner.
Yay!
Wow, look at that. Followinbot.com. How fun. thank you for the offer. No, it's not. Where's the quality in the people? Not like that, but again, I was just talking about if you grow too quickly, then you'll collapse in upon yourself. What's the point in getting followers if I can't actually, interact and get to know the people that are, that are part of this? I mean, that's the bigger thing is I know a few people. I know quite a few, and anyone that messages, I would gladly take a moment and have a conversation with you. Because I'd love to hear what other people would like to see. I mean, why not? Okay. I don't know. Is that too weird to put a little? Because usually I just put solid line, but if I put that little cheek, it gives them such a cute feature. Hmm.
Gotta go blow my nose blood.
Oh yes. I don't remember which stream, but there's probably a few of them that I was streaming while I even had a cold, and it was terrible. Terrible feeling to have to snout all into a rag and just get, nah. I wish I didn't have to do that, but it's better than me going all the dang time.
Yeah, I've been muting my mic just so I can clear my throat and just.
Oh yeah, well I constantly clear my throat, so I'm always throwing down the knob real quick, clearing, and then going back up. As I just did a few moments ago. I don't know if anyone can actually even tell anyways, because I don't know how much comes through.
I don't hear anything, so.
Well, that's good, because I know I have my computer in the room, and I know it makes a small hum, because I can actually see the microphone picking up on it, but it must not be enough. So the levels are good. Right. All's well. Alright. Now that I think about it, the font style that I usually use, I don't even know if Krita has. I might actually have to generate that somewhere else. Or just be fancy and make my own vector version of it for the banner. Or I just handwrite everything.
Probably. Or that.
Because that is the strong possibility.
That's it.
Ink. Nah, see, I'm gonna have to get more control over what it is that I'm doing.
No.
Hey. Goodbye. na 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 na. What other words are to that song?
I don't
Na
know.
na na na
I have no idea, dude.
na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye. I mean, technically, because this is going to be a banner, I should actually utilize somewhat of a cleaner design.
If you ever feel like it should be, though, I would probably make a vector PNG or something of
Yeah.
it from Illustrator.
Oh, yeah. But, you
Just
know,
because, like,
I
it
might
might
just
drive you
put...
absolutely insane later.
Oh, it will. I mean, most things... I've shed quite a bit of that perfectionist, but there are certain things that I go... Design-wise, it should look nicer. Especially if this is a banner. This is a banner that's going to be reused. So when its design is done, it's gotta be worth keeping for several years. So that's another point of why, you know, making these design choices and experimenting now is ideal. Because I can play around on this, but once it's printed and I don't like something, I have to live with that. I have to live with the knowledge going, I don't like that. But it's already paid for. But it's paid for, so I can't change it. I'm not gonna.
Yup.
And that's the biggest deal about any, you know, graphic design. It's like when you go, this is why you have people help approve what you're doing. Make sure that, you know, when you do make the choice, it's been seen by enough people to go, yeah, I like it, yeah, I like it, yeah, I like it. That way the one person is going, no, it's shit. Who's usually the artist. Is go, it has at least somebody else
You're
say
not
it's like,
wrong,
no.
though.
Oh, I know. That's why it helps to have other people, like, because they won't know all the design details or things that you are running through your head. They'll be able to look at it with the fresh eyes that you certainly can't. And that's the dilemma of any artist, is that we know the struggle we've been through to make something, and then just to see it not come together is one of those things that we have to learn to accept. But
You
that's the
stare at the
thing.
piece of work so long on, like, fresh eyes, though, so you just get, like, your brain literally gets sick of it.
Oh yeah, but they see that's
sick of it.
and that could be said with almost anything, like, really, because like when you're writing, when you're when you're driving, when you're doing a particular sport, all these things, if you do something over and over and over again and you just don't take a moment to
Yeah. Like when you're writing, they recommend you have a beta reader. When you're driving, it's recommended that if you get tunnel vision, you stop off on the side.
Exactly. So there's
Like,
so many aspects that we can all fall into those points where, you know, it's necessary to take a moment away from the actions you're doing. And that's one of those key things that a lot of people have to learn, is that you don't want to force yourself to finish something right away. You just need to remind yourself that it takes an extra moment. Time is your friend, not an enemy.
not unless you look at it that way.
Well, if you're always rushing,
I'm saying be positive about
be
it.
positive.
I'm saying don't make time your enemy in a way.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have that output. Like if you have a crappy negative output, it's going to be a crappy negative time.
Oh yeah.
Psychological.
I very much believe that too. Yes, if you bring a negative attitude, then you're only going to see the negative a lot of times.
You're going to have a bad time.
Exactly. If you go in saying this is going to be crappy, or you could just go in, this is going to be a new experience. I will figure it out.
Or you could be like,
That's
this
at
would
least
be
a bit more
crappy, but let's
optimistic.
make the best of it.
That too.
It's kind of a self-defeating.
I was gonna say I like in my mind it's like I'd purposely try not to use the word crappy. Personally, you would try to say, nah, I'm not going into this thinking that it's gonna turn out to be shit. I'm gonna go, if it turns out to be shit, well then that's a new experience.
My favorite thing about this is now that you've dropped the S-bomb on a family-friendly stream, where I'm literally watching my mouth and Captain America here drops one.
But you know, here's the thing. To me, shit is not a bad. Okay, there's certain words that I'm gonna come out right now. There's certain words that are just too strong, and to me, shit is not one of them. Shit is just not. It's not that big of a deal. Everybody shits, okay?
Have you ever seen that children's book, Everybody Poops?
Well, yeah, but I was. I think it's funnier because here's also another thing, and this is probably why I say shit more. Is like I don't like the word poop. I just don't like it.
Poo, defecation.
Defecation is better. I prefer if I always say, well, life is just defecation, then I'd feel a lot better. I would feel a lot better about it too. I seriously should say that more often. Life is just defecation. There you go.
Life is defecation and then you perish.
There you go. See, now I found my substitute word for shit now. It's defecation. I'll just do I'll say defecation because it's like when I consider it right now, like I like that word a lot more than I like
poop.
Yes, that awful word.
Poopy poop poop poop.
But see, that's the thing is like when I'm around a little kid, I have no problem saying poop because I understand like this is the first word you're gonna listen to. It's the first word you're gonna get across because you're gonna say it and you're gonna giggle. Poops. Exactly, because of the book. And it's like, so there's certain circumstances, but when I'm in an adult conversation, I don't want to say, well, life is just poo. Nah. No, I just go, no, it's shit. I'd much rather just say that. And now I feel like I'd prefer to even say defecation. Because it's the same thing as like, I don't say anything other than penis and vagina. I don't, and I've been defined as nerd for saying those words, using those terms, okay? I've been defined as nerd. I accept that. And defecation sounds like the nerd way to say shit. So it's probably why I'm more drawn. Just like, I didn't think about that before. It's like I didn't think about that before until now. It's like I've known the word. It's like, why didn't I ever think of that? It's the same way how I feel about the word neat. Everyone can say cool and awesome and everything, but nobody goes neat.
I was gonna confront you about that from the chat earlier on Discord.
What's that? Because I said awesome.
I was doing dishes. I was like, I'll join you in a minute, and you said cool. I was about to be like, what? No, neat.
Yeah. See, there's times where I will, because I feel I do overuse it sometimes. I do.
Neat.
Exactly. See, and because I say it just like that, I go neat. Because I can't pronounce the word any other way, it seems now. It's ingrained in how that word is pronounced for me. Exactly. And it almost sounds like I have a bit of a problem, too, when I say it. It's like, you can say the word. Oh, he did say the word. He takes a quick, brief second, and that, yeah, I just do that. I'm just weird. Acceptably, I'm weird. That's a polite way of saying that I'm just messed up in the head. I don't know. Am I trying to do a nightmarish kind of whimsical way of doing this? With the lettering?
Yes.
It could be the brush. Maybe I just don't care for the brush I'm using. Let's see if we can go to paint and...
Try a watercolor brush or something.
I'm wondering if that's what I'm picking. I think these are watercolor. Not quite. Try again. Oops. I see. It's funny because the word you do that too many times and it seems to build up gas in my chest, and I just had tendency to burp. It's how I do. If I do it too many times, especially rapidly like that, it just built up that little bit of burp. It made me gassy.
Lovely. Lovely jubbly.
That's an interesting brush. But I think I just dislike how I write the letter B. Letter B. Whisper words of wisdom. Letter B. Sorry. Channeling the...
What the... Only you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, I'm not streaming. I just don't really have anything to contribute right now.
You know what? You're keeping me entertained, so thank you. Well, colds do that. They kick you in the fanny, and then they just, keep, they're unrelenting.
I'm like, the rest of this week, I'm just gonna, like, we're going back to that lesson with work. I'm trying to stay positive, because otherwise I'm gonna have a bad time.
And it takes a lot more effort to remain positive in a situation that yells at you and wants to bring you down. Optimism! Sorry.
I think there's only Evelyn in the morning and me at 1:30 tomorrow.
Oh boy. Wait, tomorrow?
Yep, and then it's almost the same way Saturday.
Wait, so
except it's Lori.
We probably should talk about it, because I know what I work tomorrow. We could discuss that after stream, the details, because now I'm kind of concerned.
I was just looking over my schedule and going, oh, this is going to be fun. Let's do it. And wear my tap dancing shoes in there and just have a grand old time.
You have tap dancing shoes?
I honestly used to. I'm not going to lie. I used to, but I don't anymore, unfortunately. And even if I still had them, they would not fit me. They were for me when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So they're like size 6.
Well, you still don't have dainty feet like that? Oh.
I have fat size 8 to 9 feet, sir.
Well, I wear size 13, so...
You are a male.
For a second there, I actually thought, it's like, is she going to call me a monster? No, she said... Because I heard, the first word, and I go, monster? Monster sounds about right. And it's just male. I'm like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. I'm just a male.
You're a male monster.
Yes.
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 Yeah, Josh has about the same size, so it's like just kind of something like Victoria wears size like 13 or so.
Well, Victoria is also really tall.
I know, that's the thing. I was like, she's super tall though.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel bad because she's always trying to find shoes in the women's section that
don't exist.
Yeah,
they like don't exist.
Yeah, they just don't. They either don't make them or they look like meh. Dang it. They just look blah. So it was her birthday a couple days ago, so happy belated birthday! Woohoo!
Yes, happy birthday, Victoria. Yeah. I'm liking these brushes, but I'm realizing just how much I don't like me doing the writing right now. intestines. That looks like a bunch of flies or
I was
maggots.
gonna say it looks like maggots. Ugh.
Yeah. I'll have to
Ew.
remember that. They look like maggots.
Ew. I think it's neat, but I don't think it really fits your thing. Ew.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to make it work, aren't you?
Not really. I just wanted to play with it a little
You're
bit
just-
more.
You're
But at the
just
same
drawing
time,
the
it's
thing.
like, yeah. All these special effects ones, none of them will actually probably do what I want. What about digital? Is there a marker? This is way too thin. I wonder. Oh wow, it's 60 pixels though. It's still really thin for 60. That is interesting, and I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of. There's a particular, I want to say a makeup line that almost uses that somewhat similar brush with that sharp style. Ooh, what's this one do? Nothing I really want it to, but it's interesting. Oh, does this one just create swirls? Oh my gosh. Oops. Look at that. Do you see this brush?
That's pretty cool. It looks like a light refraction brush. That's
Yeah,
cool.
just somehow it...
I'm digging it.
I am too. Actually. It's a very interesting eye feature. Because it's almost like... it almost generates the shadow you want in a certain space right away, but it also depends on how fast you draw the line. The slower you are, the thinner and more precise it can be. But if I was to go fast, it generates that fade, that curve. It's interesting how if you just play with some of these brushes, you'll figure out, like, this is an interesting style. And I've completely diverted from actually doing what I'm trying to do. Because I'm experimenting and figuring out what are these things, what can they bring to the table for me. Neat. Nope. kind of like the three-dimensional effect this brush is bringing to stuff. I'm backing off of it. And nah.
Nah.
Let's try the next one. What does this one do? Similar but rounded. Look like it adds an angle.
Boo.
I said a boo, chicka boo. I said a boo, chicka rocka, chicka boo. Now this is an interesting one because it's almost like I'm designing a track that's got a lot of interesting features. That is a pretty interesting one because it's easy to generate a depth of field, depth of field, a feeling of depth to the to that brush. It's a very interesting one. A lot of these ones I'll have to explore and see what things I can design with them.
Indeed.
The bigger point is that none of them, though, are screaming out to me saying, hey, I think this is the one you should use to write BoogieMan inked. That's the only problem I have. Now, if I found a base one that I'd like, I could definitely tweak it. I'm not even finding that right now. It's kind of making me sad.
Is there a way you can like drag it?
Can do
your
what?
Favorite area?
Drag what? My favorite
brushes. So you don't have to like try to find it again.
Well, that's the thing about using a program like Krita is I have not explored enough to figure out where I can draw them. I know that since it's Python, I know that there's probably a bunch of freeware stuff that's been developed. Because it's a lot, since this is a free program anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the main draws of why I like using certain things like this. These are powerful tools. Somebody actually took the opportunity to go, hey, we're really passionate about doing this. We want to design something that allows you to express yourself, and you don't need to pay us for it. But donations are always welcome, those kinds of things. And even simply me using it while streaming is a means of saying I really like this program. It's very strong, and then for what it is, it's got quite a bit. Still, there's so many things that I'm still like. There's so many buttons I have yet to even try. Because it's not necessary for my everyday drawing, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
You find usually when you get older as an artist, you find these are the things that work for me, and I like those, and we keep reusing them. Every so often you might jump outside of that and go, I will explore with these, see if I can design something else. But that's kind of the thing right now, is that I'm taking a look at all these other brushes. Seeing what is creatable. I have no clue what I just created, but it looks like it could be like a sibling of BoogieMan's.
Our minion.
Or a minion. I mean, if he's that evil.
He treats his minions well.
You might assume too much. Because maybe that's his food source.
Well, dang then.
See, I just took a weird twist.
Poor little guy.
Yeah. But I do like
pepperoni.
This. Ha 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 ha. I like pepperoni. That's not the point. That's not the point. Gosh.
Dang it, Nathan.
I like pepperoni. That you're just weird.
Picados from Mexico.
Yes.
Oy vey.
So when was the day you realized you regretted meeting me?
Don't know what you're talking about there.
Oh, you've yet to get to that point. Oh. Hurrah.
Don't
Wait. You mean it wasn't all the dad jokes?
Stop being mean. Stop being mean to yourself. Stop that.
What? I'm awesome.
This sigh. What was that one you sent? My voice through a colander restrained my voice.
Yes. Yes, I yelled through a colander and it strained my voice. Mm-hmm.
That one made me internally cringe and rage at work.
See, I thought you were about to say internally bleed, and I go, that's just neat.
Yeah, maybe do that too. If you're so inclined.
They're both so shocked to see each other.
Oh, what are you doing here? Because you are adorable.
Alright, his head has become huge.
Oh.
What are these things? These are spirits from the BoogieMan realm. Wait, did I just release something?
Boogie worms.
Boogie worms.
I don't know.
No, that's adorable. Boogie worms.
Yes.
Now the question is, are they offspring of BoogieMan, or are they the minions of BoogieMan? Are they... I don't know. Do they latch onto people's minds and take over, like, you know, like mind worms? I don't know. the mythos of Boogeyman is definitely, it's getting, things are added to it every single moment, it seems. He's a weird one. All right, I don't think I'm gonna. I should just bite the bullet and use the text version and just go with it. Text away. That looks incredibly small, because it is. Do 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 do.
Dull, great, diamond, kill.
What about diamonds? There's a girl. They're a girl's best friend.
No, I was.
Is that the
singing.
commercial? I just heard diamonds, and it sounds like, you know.
No, I was singing. I don't even know if you'd know what the show is.
Probably not, because we've introduced Nathan to being
Mary
ignorant.
Kate and Ashley's Mysteries.
Oh no, Nathan never got into that, and that's not being sarcastic. That's like, I didn't even know that existed.
It's like.
Oh wait, is that? Yeah, Wordy Diva. It does have it. That's not what I wrote. It's because I didn't select everything. Ho ho. Wordy Diva. That is the one I used. Yep, that's the one on the business card. Excellent. Well, see, because I designed the business cards while I was using Photoshop and Illustrator, and it's like, I don't know if the font was like one of the special, because there's several fonts that I also downloaded through Adobe that was like, I like using these ones. I like, they're real cool and it's fun, and it's something quick and easy. I don't have to go fuss and go find it somewhere else. That's why, you know, that's one of the nice features of Adobe, but I don't think it's really worth the cost all the time, especially because it's now double what it was. It's like, I'm not very satisfied with that factor. I was really happy with the price I paid, but I do not want to pay double for the same features. It would have been one thing if it went like $20 up. It's like, okay. But double? Yeah. That's pretty steep to suddenly go, yeah, pay this much.
Pretty sure I'm paying $10 a month just for Photoshop.
You see, and that's what I might end up going down to, which is a burden, because I would like to use Illustrator on occasion. I do use After Effects. I've used Premiere a few times, but After Effects is the program I know a bit more. The only problem is that Premiere is a little bit less, you know, processor heavy when it comes to in the moment designing. But that's because Adobe After Effects is more of a motion graphics, so it's got a little bit more features towards working with animations right inside of it, like actually Adobe Animate, which was originally Adobe Flash. But in Adobe Flash, the difference that you can do is you can actually do Flash programming. So that's one of the features of using that over After Effects. Is After Effects will give you just, here's the animations and here's some special like effects features that are built into it. So After Effects is really good for that purpose. Flash allows you to actually program certain sequences, and a lot of times it's almost easier to program out an entire animation, because you can have it as soon as it ends one scene, immediately kicks into the next one, and you already have your animation flowing on it, so it immediately kicks into the frame that you tell it to. So if you had a bunch of like characters sitting at, like, it just is very nice feature when you could program out the timing of everything.
Right.
But that But that's also the other thing is like you can do a very similar thing in After Effects where you just keyframe it like you would in Animate, but you won't have that program extra part of programming it in. And that was I think one of the better things that you could in Animate you could generate multiple scenes, and they'd technically be on their own layer of sorts inside that program. So you can jump to the next one, drag in everything you want, animate it, and put it, put the time to it on the the timeline, and it do the same thing. And then you just program that you want to go from this scene to this scene, or back to this moment, or that depending on what you have, because you can technically have you can break down the scenes into shots. So if I have a certain moment of animation that I want to see from this angle, and I would say, well, then run this for this many seconds, and then I want to change the angle to this other scene's, point of view. And there's one way of, generating certain things. This is like there's multitude of things you could do with it. So it's like programming was also another added feature that was interesting to use. I need to start animating stuff again. That's what I really, really want to sit down and do at times. But I have so many other projects, and like I was mentioning, as soon as Really Cool Comic Con's over, there's going to be a little bit of a break time, and then it's going into new projects. And oh, I don't think I mentioned this to you, Kayla, but Really Cool Comic Con's going to have another convention. I think it's August 7th or August 8th. But they're going to have a summer show.
Okay.
So, I've yet to submit any of the information for it, but I should really do that soon for that particular show. And I know I keep asking this, and I think I should just ask you, put a list of other conventions you probably have thought of yourself. If there's any particular ones that you think would be neat to go to for us. Because I know I've asked, and that's the problems. I've asked, and I still I feel it keeping any list anywhere. So I'll definitely I'll say just email it so I can archive it with a bunch of other information I have. And that's probably going to be my best bet. It's like that's where I keep a lot of lists of things that have been sent to me of stuff. And that's the difference this time.
The only other one besides Motor City that I can think of off the top of my head.
Which Motor City is a big one, definitely, but is not slotted for this year, and maybe not even slotted for next year, to be honest. But
the other one, I'm not even sure how much it is, but it doesn't matter if it's just like an anime convention.
No.
Because that's the one I'm thinking of is JFAX in Grand Rapids.
There you go. And that's a couple days in a row, correct?
It's usually 2 or 3 days, yeah.
All right.
I think you have 2 days for artist alleys though, because they have the opportunity for the artist alley people to either have their alleys for the 2 days and possibly a small class you can teach to some people.
Really?
I went to one, I think, I want to say it was 2017, and I went to a prop building class with Morgan and Foa.
Mm-hmm.
And they, the girl there, she's a really good cosplayer, but she talks about where to go and how to get certain things and to get them cheap, where you don't have to have them cut or do all that kind of stuff. And we built like a magic wand with very cheap materials.
Neat. See, I've been walking through Michael's and Joanne Fabrics a few times lately, and that was mainly because like, what neat stuff can I use to decorate the table and all those things and stuff that I'm thinking of. And I wandered into I think it was into Joanne's, because in the back right corner there is they have high density foam, and was like immediately came to mind. It's like, oh, I remember how people said that they use this stuff to like make weapons and all these other things for their cosplays and everything. It's like, I now know where to find it. I should make myself a giant sword or something, or whatever. but I mean, I have a very good friend, Mark, that he's what is it? Him and I want to design two really big cosplay costumes, and I don't know if I want to announce it, but I one of the things is a wampa, and that's he found a tutorial on how to create a wampa costume, and he goes, it'd be really cool to make one, and it'd be really cool to wear it and like go and just like cosplay as that, and they go, that'd be really great. And then there's another one which we have yet to see anywhere that I won't say because him and I have already sat down and we've discussed some of the design aspects of it, but it's a really big undertaking. There's a lot to it, and there's going to be a lot of foam. But it's a rather big character too. And not only that, but we've been discussing like how to counterbalance certain things so the weight of it feels just right and it's the center of gravity is just right, because otherwise the character itself does not look like its design has a very good center of gravity, and designing it to have such is vital. And then it also needs some cooling because it's going to be very stuffy inside. So designing where those features can sit inside of it would be great, and then how to see through the mask and everything and all those things, because it's quite an extensive build, and that's one of the bigger ones that I'm really excited to sit down and actually start making at some point. But we still have a lot of planning to go through on that one, and him and I've only discussed certain plan. We haven't even drawn out anything yet, but that's going to be the big undertaking. That's the oh, I get it. I think about it and I get excited. It's like I love building stuff like that, but that's one that could take like a couple of years to actually finish the build for. Because I don't see it being like, oh yeah, here it is in like a few days. Like nah, because with how foam works, you'd have to take a bit. Oh.
Oh.
Are you gonna yell at me the whole dang time here? I think I broke Krita, because Krita is like, nah, you can't do anything on this layer. It's like, why can't I move the thing I want to move? And it won't select another layer. Oh no. Oh no, even using the mouse and it won't let me select anything else. What is this? I generate text and now it goes, nah, we don't like this.
What have you done?
Oh, that's disappointing.
I can't handle it.
Oh, this is so disappointing because I didn't even save. Wait, what the hell is this little dialog box doing open? Is this what's causing me issue? Oh, now it's disappeared. That's even better. Thank you, Krita. What was that? What was that mini dialogue box? Okay, there's like the top end of like the X and things like there's this like mini box on my second screen in the lower left corner, and literally was just the Krita symbol, the minimize screen, and then X, and it's like, the hell is that dialogue box attached to? I didn't even know where it came from. I'm wondering if I messed up something with the text one. And like I accidentally moved it instead of like threw it to the next screen instead of actually closed it. It's always possible. I mean, I can misclick a lot of stuff very quickly, very easily. But there we go. That's the actual text. So it's Wordy Diva that I use. That seems like such a weird one to be picking, but I use Wordy Diva.
Mm-hmm.
cool.
You're a wordy diva.
Thank you. All right. I mean, I've only been working for an hour and a half, and actually probably only been working for a half hour on this. I've been mostly talking.
My point.
He's just a gabby person. Yes, yes, I can be. For an introvert.
Experimenting with Krita.
Do do do. All right, let's move on. Not on the right layer. It helps. All right. Mm-hmm. You know, I have to decide what I'm also going to do for the background on the upper part. And it's either I put in a bunch of other, like, graphics or other characters in the background beyond that fence. Because maybe that's exactly what this is. Maybe this is actually a fence, and BoogieMan's looking over it and seeing the signs like BoogieMan inked. Maybe that's the whole banner. And you can see beyond it a bunch of characters and a battleground and like smoke stacks and guns ablazing as they're all fighting for dominance. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
You like the idea of all the characters fighting for dominance in the background? Like in just a smoky thing, and like here's BoogieMan just casually peeking over the fence, taking a look.
As such, he does.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does his own thing. I mean, he's technically, I guess, he's like the all powerful being in this mythos. I guess that's what he is. He's just because he opens his mouth and it's just a complete
Purgatorial void.
Exactly. And he seems like that's his thing. He eats things all the time, so he'll just chomp on things he's just shadowy like figure.
He eats things.
He eats things. Like that doesn't sound like a very big. It's like, have you ever seen how big his mouth opens? We have yet to actually see it. How big it can be, if there's if there is a limit. He's a mischievous creature. That's not an eraser. Hmm. What does that mean? His eyes should be down a little bit, possibly. Yeah. That's the choo-choo Facebook icon. And am I remembering this one right? I don't know. Is the wing upward? I think. Pretty sure Instagram's is easy.
Sorry, phone call.
No, you're good. I think a wonky looking social media icons are needed.
I got trips.
I have cookies and I finished the dark chocolate Oreos already. I'm kind of sad now.
I want cookies.
You could have bought cookies over chips, you know that, right? That is a choice. And that was a choice you made.
I ran out of cookies. Jackass. Want more cookies.
Well, see, then you're in the same boat as I am. It's like I ran out of my dark chocolate ones because I finished them. And here's the thing: is like usually I don't care for sweets, but there's certain things like dark chocolate that is just I like bitter flavors. So it's like it's bitter enough to where it's like, because I'd go with like 90%, seriously. And I was like, that's so good, 90%.
You know what that's really good in?
Coffee.
Chili.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that. That is one of those overlooked aspects, is that how good it can actually just enhance other flavors. And it doesn't have to be in a sweet dish, it could be in a savory dish like chili. I mean, that's actually one of the big things, too, about how I promote honey over using salt on things. Because honey tenderizes meat just like salt does. But I've always felt that salt can also have the tendency to toughen it up at times in certain areas. Whereas for honey, I haven't seen or felt the same aspect where it toughens up something. It tenderizes it, but does not toughen. So that's one of the things. See, now this is turning to cooking tips, not just art tips here, people. What's that?
I think it's also better if you use raw honey.
Yes.
It's less sweet.
Yes. So it doesn't add like an huge overly kind of sweetness. It melds in with it very well without doing
Processed
too many
honey
things.
actually tastes good in teriyaki meat.
Processed honey over natural or
in
raw?
Teriyaki meat.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's mainly because it's just you expect that sweetness in the teriyaki, so and you want a little bit sweeter flavor.
Yeah.
But I have this very lovely honey that has a very lavender kind of fragrance and flavor to it, which is interesting that I like to use.
That sounds like it would be very good in tea.
Mm-hmm. It is excellent in tea. So if you have somebody that you know that takes care of bees and they have lavender bushes, oh yeah, you can actually taste it in their honey.
That has a lavender.
Well, then now they need to house bees and make honey.
Bees, save the bees.
There you go. Because it is quite the excellent little hint and flavor. Oh. Huh. Sorry, now I'm sounding like every character from Minecraft. Watch out, the llama spit. Ah.
They do, it's so gross. Exactly. Exactly. It's gross. Llamas are gross.
They're disgusting. Yeah, I really have to decide what goes into this negative space in this area here. The only thing I can think of is other characters that are more iconic. You know, just the other. See, and that's another aspect of this design is negative space okay in this, or should I try to fill up every last bit?
I'm always a slut for negative space.
You like it? Is that what you mean by that term? Of saying...
Yes, I'm an advocate for negative space. It looks good.
So, but again, it's this idea is like 2.5 feet by 6 feet. Is that a waste of space though, for something like this? And I'm thinking it's like you've got a point. It's like, you know, let's be a slut about this negative space and like let's love it for what it is, because like I don't need to fill up every aspect.
That also depends on how much money you want to spend on something that's simplistic, and it's a black banner, so it's gonna have a nice sheet of that ink on there.
Oh yeah.
That's what you get for making BoogieMan white.
Yeah.
It was like a white outline.
Yeah, he's a white outline because he's he's pretty frightening. He's supposed to be, in some way, but he's
So, like,
he's a dancing monster. He's a dancing monster.
He boogies through the dance.
Yeah, he boogies
dances
through the darkness
and opens his mouth to avoid death.
Well, it's not death. It's just to avoid.
Purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of dark to say death. Just because he eats you doesn't mean you're necessarily dead. Think of it as a giant bag of holding. Gosh.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Puke you out somewhere?
Or excrete you somewhere else? I don't know.
He's just gonna hang on to you. You're a souvenir to him.
Yeah, maybe that's what he does. He collects things. He gobbles them up and keeps them along the way.
I had just see an image. Just like image of you just talking to people going by the table.
Yeah.
Just an animated boogeyman just kind of peeking over the table, just reaching and grabbing something, just eating it. He just consistently keeps doing that without you knowing, and you're like, where the hell did I put the...
And
he just keeps eating it.
That almost sounds exactly like a part of me. It's like, where the hell did I put that? I already do that anyways. Like, I could have swore I just had it here. It's like,
well, there's your new excuse now, boogeyman.
And see, the thing is I used to always say, it's like, I must have eaten it. I guess I don't know. So the fact that's a very fitting feature of him. It's like, I always say, it's like, I must have eaten it. I don't know where the hell I did put it. Because it clearly was here on the desk, and it's like, if it's not here, then I had to have put it in my mouth at some point and just not spat it out. So yes, Boogeyman it seems to be an aspect of me.
What the heck, dude?
Yeah, I know, it's kind of creepy how you say these certain things. Like, I used to. These are things.
Maybe I knew you in another life.
Yeah. Well, and see, at the same time, it's like when
quirks.
And see, whenever everybody says like, "Oh, I can't find this," and I go, "Well, you should stand up first." It was always my first go-to response. It was like, maybe you should stand up and give you a chance to crap it out, which is implying that they ate it. So that's always what I was implying whenever I said stuff like that.
What the heck?
Yeah, I know. I'm a weird person, okay? I'm liking this banner. I'm seeing I have an idea, I see it, and I definitely am liking it. I want it to feel a little bit more finished, so it's like I don't know what other text I want to put in here just yet. I'm pretty sure I want to put in like the notion of hashtag BoogieMan. Inked, because that's one hashtag I've tried to put on every single post. So if you just look up the hashtag Boogeyman Inked, you should be able to find a lot of the stuff we've done, a lot of the things that are attached to Boogeyman Inked. And that's the part of the thing that comes with time, is building that hashtag, keep things posted, being consistent with certain things, and just keep it moving forward. And that's definitely one feature that has to be on it. The main social medias that we are, which is like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr, Tumblr is just this T. Comes to a sharp point. Which reminds me, I should actually, anytime you see me put something up on like Facebook, you should just grab it and throw it on Tumblr, by the way. I think that's my best ways to indicate what what should be up on the Tumblr. Is just whatever gets posted there, image wise, should just go right up on there. And just, you can even copy and paste the same things, or come up with a new caption for it. It all works.
All right. So I will just go raid the Facebook photos.
Raid. Exactly. Because like I've been trying to think, it's like, oh, I should probably do this. It's like, no, it makes sense, because the only thing that The reason why I don't put things to Tumblr myself is because it's like it's.
Well, I said I would do that too.
Well,
So.
you said you'd do it, but at the same time, like I don't think of Tumblr all too often because, well, at the same time, it's like you've done the setup for it, and it's like I don't want to mess up anything, and I know as soon as I go in there, I'm gonna be curious, and I might fuck up a few things. Oh my gosh, I swore.
Oh no.
I know. See, this is the reason you guys have corrupted me. And actually, to be quite honest, I did freak out for a moment. It's like, oh my god, I cussed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How could I do that?
I'm trying to be good, and here you are.
See, maybe I need other people to cuss so I can go, oh, that's not good. Oh,
it's
don't
like
do
the
that.
reverse effect.
Yeah, exactly. So I can have my filter working in proper order.
What the beep?
See, that's what we really need a moderator for. Anticipation to oh, why? Okay, dang people.
They would be needing to be paid so much money.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We'd have no audio. Guys, I can't. You've probably got 2-3 seconds worth that are actually
all they do is just
talking.
hold their finger on the beep button.
Exactly.
The whole string.
Exactly. Well, you know, beep. But I thought beep. Nah, that'd be too much.
I showed you some of.
Well, see, you know,
stuff,
and
didn't I?
you might have, but like, I'm forgetting.
There's a point where he's telling his team not to say racist stuff because I don't remember what game they were playing. It makes me mad, but he has a literal bell, like one with a handle that he shakes and just like ding a ding a ding a ding a ding. It's like you cannot say that. You can't say that. It's the best.
That'd be great. That's what I should really get for you guys then.
It's like a maid's bell. He starts ringing it. Like, what the heck?
Awesome. I need to find some nuisance item. Actually, I think that's more of the Tumblr T. I'm not entirely sure. Should be so finicky about these things.
Yep, that's fine. Then she put a big old circle around it.
It's a big old circle?
Yep.
I thought all these icons had a specialty, like rounded box edge to them.
Or you could just, yeah, I was gonna say, you know what, you're right. That's the app look to it.
Yeah.
The Tumblr, the T is right in the middle of it, though.
Oh, it is in the middle? Of course. Of course it would be. It's Facebook that goes, no, we like to be off-center. We don't. We're hip like that. We're
what's funny?
Interesting.
Tumblr is Facebook, just if you pushed the curve down to the opposite end.
Yeah. There you go.
Moved it to the right and down.
Don't say that. You might actually be really stirring up some issues.
Oh no. I don't know. Both platforms are kind of becoming, excuse my French, shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with most social media, and that's why we have you ever taken a look? It's like, I need to find some of these social media icons and then see like there's 32 of them. And it's like, yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many I haven't even heard of, haven't even played with. It's like, what is this? What is that?
Yeah, that's where I just kind of trust the popular ones.
Exactly. Which reminds me,
established ones like, God. Oh, don't
which are
forget
pretty
to
much
put your
those.
Coffee.
Exactly. I just thought of that, to be quite honest, and I'm thinking like,
because there are people who will donate to you for coffee. Yeah.
Well, and again, the only thing that like is for that is like, yes, if you donate, it's obviously it's to help us out, but that's where I'd much rather, instead of doing donations, I'd much rather somebody buy some merchandise, get something out of it. something we've designed, something that, they can hold on to, saying, yeah, I've contributed, I helped them out, I gave them some money for this, and I got this to wear. Or especially because, like, those pins the pins I designed, is like, I'm super excited because, one, it's something that it will have BMID on the back, and that's the acronym for BoogieMan Inked, and it'll indicate that you've helped us, you've contributed to, to our work by, helping us figure, have a little bit more cash flow to possibly, get more time to work at this over our day job. And that's the thing to work towards, because eventually it'd be nice to be able to do this as full time. Nice to be able to pull in more artists, pull in more projects, get more things going. But that's the future. That's what we're working towards. So that's the grander idea that I've had, is that to invite more artists and feature them to show off their work, have it be collaborative work, see, what can be made, what we can what kind of storytelling can be done, because the more minds you have on a project, the more it can evolve, more it can be, really gain some new life. So, and that's really the big idea I have for a lot of this, and that's why I like the idea of working with other artists. And yeah, there's going to be struggles, because we all have different ideas of how we want to work with something, or how we want to do and feature things, and our art styles are going to be different. And that's part of the acceptance of working with somebody else that might not completely agree with you. But at the same time, I don't see a problem with that, other than it's just that getting through that initial barrier of understanding. That's it. And once both sides actually understand one another, then things will go by a lot smoother. Things will gain a lot more traction, instead of always trying to understand one another. So that's why I always do so much writing, because it's mainly just so I have everything in my mind of how I'd like to present things, and that way there's more things for people to read, to understand, to see the transparency. And there's so much to write for that kind of stuff. Because one of the big things is just making sure, being fair to all of the artists, what they feature, how it helps support BoogieMan Inked, how well we can, promote things. And that's the thing, is over time we will have a better chance at promoting things, because we'll have more cash flow to actually put towards, like, saying, yeah, here's something, like, we can dedicate more time to this and get this project done, and then feature something about it. And those that help work on it, and like to get a comic book done, a graphic novel done, or an animation done, I'd love to be able to compensate them for the work they've done. I'd love to see them doing something they love, and seeing the reward of not just financially, but also the fact that they were part of it. But I understand time is money. That's the bigger thing, is time is money. So a lot of people can't drop everything to do certain stuff. It's very difficult to do that. I mean, hell, even I have that issue. Is like, I'm working a day job too at the same time as doing this.
Yeah.
And there's definitely days I get home and I'm just tired. And I go, I'm just going to veg and not do anything. And then I sit down and I go, I really want to do this. And then I get myself to sit up and go, well, I got a few things to do then. Let's go do it. Because it's knowing that I have to put in a lot of extra work here at the beginning. There always is. There's always something I could be writing. There's always something I could be drawing. There's always something I could redesign, configure. Something, I can. There's always something I can do. But
Right.
there's a nice healthy balance that needs to be found between doing all that extra work and having some moments to actually do things that I find are my release, my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I found a lot of times I end up just grabbing my sketchbook and working, but that's where I get the opportunity to experiment then. I don't have to sit here and like, do this structure, do this, this is that this particular character design, gotta get that going, gotta, do that and be all rigid about something. It's like I gotta get that into this and do that. No, I can just
I'll be right
mess
back.
around. Okay. I will talk to myself again. And all those icons are all over the place. Let's see if we can resize this. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to separate. Because the Facebook one needs a little bit of its own resizing. There we go. So if anything, right now I'm just doing sketching, just getting the ideas, the layout, the lay of the land on this. All the fun parts. To be quite honest, like I have a lot of fun designing these things. But it gets kind of boring too, because when you're designing things like, this is necessary for this particular task for this purpose, and yeah, it's not as fun as just drawing a character. Or say designing something new for a whole different feature. Oh, you darn thing. Oh. Nope. Yes. Alright. Right now I'm trying to line these all up a bit. They're not perfect shapes, but definitely get them on there. And maybe what I'll do is like the structure he has is an actual fence. So I can have these on each of their own planks. They're sitting in front of it is one feature. I definitely like that idea. And then in this case, the BoogieMan Inked is on its own sign, grungy thing going on. Should I have him between his hands? See, if I did that, then I'd probably want him further off to the left or right. His left, our right. Okay, something to think about. But we got that there. I know there's probably another. Yeah, that's right, Ko-Fi. I need to look up Ko-Fi's icon. Oh, goodness. It is getting rather late. Plus, babysitting puppies all day. It's kind of a task, You gotta give some love and attention. And Adrian is definitely, she's a cuddler. She likes to. She likes to cuddle for a while, and then she's off, and then she does her own thing. So I'd almost say it's very much like a cat, to be honest. Because I remember our cat Sabrina. She would love. She'd like to be with you right up next to you, let her pet her, and when she was done, she pretty much bit you, and that was it. It was like, okay, we're done here, and then she'd move on. It didn't make much sense. It's like, you could just walk away, or you could bat me. No, you're gonna go and just nip at us. But it's not like she had a better way of communicating. It's like, you did just lay off. I'm done. Don't need to pet me anymore. All right. Now here's an idea. Should I make the wall thicker? Should I give it depth? Or should I just give it the wooden planks? Well, let's create another layer. Because if I do wooden planks, then they're going to be quite shallow. Maybe even make them wider. There we are. Going right off the edge. And I could give this more depth, yes. It's not too difficult to do so. So each of these just can gain a little bit of depth if I just do something like simple as this. Give each one of these sides extra edge. And even this point, kind of show the transition. Let's show on the other side over that. So maybe that's what I want. Kind of everything centered towards this point. Because small little subtle shifts like that can make a certain point and the whole banner stick out. These are all little visual cues telling people, look here, look at this. This is something. Alright, so then we go down on each of these. They're all varying lengths, or widths, I should say. So I got this going up and down. Let's put it right there then. Up and down on this one there. And this is on its own layer, so I don't have to worry about if I go over the top of anything. There we go. So, okay. Just designed a wooden fence for him, so it gives it more context of what he's looking up and over. At the same time, it could be a concrete wall instead. I did say I was thinking of making this, possibly. There. A banner inside of a banner. How crazy is that? Yeah, and maybe I could make each of these icons look more like they're wood carvings inside the side of the side of the actual fence there. That'd be an interesting feature, a little design. Or I can make it, or I can even be kind of like. Uh oh. What do I have on that side? Okay, it's all that. That's fine. Or I could even do like these. Separate. Sheets of paper, so like one has Facebook on it. I'll do that. Then we'd have then technically Instagram still is like, because it's a camera design. Still need its box. I mean, this is probably that like really extra feature. I don't need to do, but you know. And got Twitters. And what was the last one? Oh, Tumblr, yes.
Okie dokie.
I might be going a little bit overboard, but and is
Oh
everything?
no, that's cute. Oh, that's
Can I make
cool.
it? Because then I'm giving it more.
Make pieces of the paper have bite marks.
Yeah, instead of doing like the individual icons, like, well, because there's there's doing individual like tag like pictures across, or even doing carvings in the wood is one of the other ideas, but stuff like that, like, it's either I'm going over the top with it and making like a little too much business going on, or this is like the amount of character that I really want in this banner anyways. because I'm going to go in, take these icons, cut. No, I'm on the wrong layer.
I felt that.
It's like,
when it did
damn
I
it.
felt that.
And then paste it.
You say not
So now
the
it's
right
its own.
layer.
Exactly.
Dang it.
But there. So then there's going to be this big banner with BoogieMan inked, and I'm trying to think there should be something else underneath it. You know, that's part of the extra wording that I'm thinking about. But BoogieMan inked, and I might want to even make it bigger than that. Like, take up this, this. What is? Oh, it's because I'm still on wrong. Take up this extra space that still is yet to be used. But then like I said, I have all this. It's all that negative space, and that's a good portion of it. A good portion of the banner. I'm using the lower half of it, which is fine because the thing is going to hang horizontally like this. But I might want to. So I'm trying to think of, is it too much? Because everything's safe, in the safe zone, which is that blue mark, and that's a good thing. It's like I want a nice buffer between the top of the head. BoogieMan, definitely. And yes, this is from Vistaprint. Vistaprint is possibly the people I'm going to be doing, but this was a great template that I found that they have. And I go, this is what I want. I want something that's set to the right amount of pixels, the right size, and 2.5 by 6. We're going to work with it. This is one of the things, is like finding templates for designing things, so you get the trim line that's expected and then the margin that's safe to work within, keep everything in. So that's where you want to keep all your information, never overflowing on that. Just a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as for a mock-up design, I'm liking the feature. I think adding in the idea that he's on a fence, he's looking over a fence is one thing. I could also make it a concrete, wall is another aspect, so I can give it a bit more texture in that sense.
Right.
But I think the wooden fence kind of makes it feel more of more playful, because if it's concrete, then there's something serious. It seems pretty serious. I mean, I could put barbed wire over the top of it that he's ignoring if I really want to be creepy about this. Like he's actually
barbed wire.
Exactly. He's escaping from something, and barbed wire doesn't affect him. It's just like he's in there because he wants to be there, not because he has to be.
Because here comes the BoogieMan.
Yeah. Exactly. Or yeah, he could be going into somewhere for all I know. He could be creeping into the prison. My God. He's peering over the wall and like, ooh, what morsels are here today? Yeah, you see this happy-go-lucky smile, and he's just a mischievous monster.
Yeah, again, he's cute, but he's unnerving.
And that is exactly the design I want for him. He's cute, but you don't quite know.
Unpredictable little butt muncher.
Literally, he munches on butts. He's not. He
munches
doesn't.
on everything.
He munches on. Yeah, that's the bigger point. He munches on everything. He's not.
Again, I could just see him peering over your table and just eating stuff.
Yeah, or
you
you
just for it. The hell did I put thing?
Oh my gosh!
You pick him up. Stop.
Oh my gosh!
Eating
Oh my
everything.
gosh! Oh my gosh! It'd be so great to design the banner in such a way that it's actually the fence at the top, and then I have either cardboard or something, little version of him hanging off the top of it. So he's actually sticking up and over it like he's see, that's a part of the design. See now,
Maybe for another con, try to keep it simple. We're halfway through the month. You have maybe a couple weeks left.
Yeah, a couple weeks left.
Don't kill yourself. It's a great idea. Don't forget it. Write it down. But try not to kill yourself in these last few weeks.
Because
Just
I
get
like,
prepared.
oh my gosh! And then like the racks in the back, like behind us, that'll have the prints put up on it would be great. Because I also I think for that I want to get a black cloth to put over it, so it's not just like the black grid, but it's a nice black background, and the pictures can sit up and they can stand out from that a little bit better. But the point is that I can make that look like a fence as well, and have BoogieMan sticking over his head over the top of that is just like a little cardboard cutout that can be easily put up. Just those little things, just to make it like he's right there. He's right there. He's looking in on all this neat stuff. Maybe that's what I should do, is create that. Spray paint a piece of cardboard that's his little head and his hands. Two pieces like that, and I could easily do that myself. And just spray paint it black. Do the white, white outline on the edge, the white for the eyes and the mouth, and boom, done. And that can easily be hung up somewhere. Yeah. Because I could actually do several layers of cardboard and actually just design it so it's like too thick on the front hands, too thick for where the palm is, two more thick for the thumb, and then two more thick for the face background, and just layer it like that. So it already would have built into it, the ability to hang on the edge. There we go. See? Yeah.
All right, Muttley, calm down.
Yeah. Okay, well, see, now I've just given myself a reason to go to Joanne Fabrics or to Michael's and go, ooh, I need to go get this stuff. Hey, I like walking through craft stores a lot.
So do I, but it often ends up hurting my wallet.
See, I was very good the last two times because all I did was get my Trombo markers that I love to use. I grabbed the last two black ones they had on the shelf. I was like, oh, I'm lucky, because I would have been disappointed if I only grabbed one, because I know I'll go through that one fast. Because that's what I like using in my sketchbook. Because it has that brush tip that I really like using, that you can vary the sizes and everything, and I like being able to have that finer detail. And then on the other side, I can actually do this, the simple, thin lines. So I can actually kind of draw thin lines where I need it, and then use the brush tip to get the varied, really fine tip portions. I love those markers. They're markers. They're technically markers. It's really cool to use to draw anime eyes with, because it's very easy to get those fine tips across things, and then really fine lines with a brush. That's another thing, is like getting, it helps me with steadying my arm too, because
I have a brush pen.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Have you ever used the Tombow? They're water-based, so they don't smell like they're, you could suck on them for, and get alcohol in your system.
I have not, unfortunately.
And like, usually when one gets lower, like closer to the end of like, oh, it's not doing as well, is you can dip them in water and kind of get a watercolor effect going on with it too. Then at that point,
I did have. But I really haven't used a lot of markers. I
like to use them to experiment.
Coloring I've ever really done is colored pencil.
Ooh.
Then I went to watercolors, because I like watercolors a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that great at them, but that just merited more practice. And then I tried oil paints, but F oil paints in the A.
Really? You don't like oil?
It's because it's too flowy. Like, for me, it's too flowy. I like having an absolute with some things. If that makes sense. it means like I could sit there and fine tune it all I want, and it's never really
Yeah.
done. And I'm like, I no. I didn't hate oils. I found them very frustrating.
Well, see, and that's the thing is like a lot of artists they pick up a bunch of mediums and they'll find ones they don't like working with, and then they'll find
Yeah,
the other ones that they really love. Because I I really do want to do more painting. It just it's two things. One, it's time consuming because once you wet the canvas, you have to finish it. Is one of the things. You can't unless there's some feature of it that you go, I need this to dry before I can continue on, which a lot of times happens with oil because you get it to a certain point. It's like I need it to settle somewhat before I continue.
you're talking for watercolor.
Yeah, watercolor. Yeah, because yeah, those
another option for something that's like it's kind of an in between for watercolor and acrylic is gouache. It's similar to watercolor, but it has it's denser, so it has a more vivid color to it, and it holds more weight in the brush.
Yeah.
And that one's nice to use too.
I might have to play with that one because I don't think I've ever done that. And which one was that? What technique or which material was that?
It's a you can use acrylic like canvas. It's got to be a light canvas. It can't be rough though. It'll ruin your brushes.
Oh, okay.
Like with oil paints, you can use a heavier canvas because the oil paint is like the one that holds the most on the brush.
Yeah.
Gouache is more, you kind of want to have like maybe, is it a 140 gouache weight for watercolor paper?
Okay.
Like a thicker watercolor paper. It won't hold well with the standard like pads that you can get, like watercolor pads. It doesn't hold well. But like to add more stuff to it, you just add a bit of water. But it feels like a more how do I describe it? I'm bad at explaining things. It feels like a version of clay for paint. You can mold it and do whatever you want with it, but when you want it to set right, it'll set for you.
So it's like a cross between acrylic and oil then, because oil likes to just continuously be movable, because it never truly sets. From what I remember.
Gouache eventually does set like watercolor does. It just gives you a little bit more time. Whereas with watercolor, once you get it down, it's kind of down there unless you have like a sponge technique to lift it up. But then you're adding so much water to the paper, or taking too much out, where it either brittles, or it warps. Unless you tape it down, and even then it warps because it'll
still warp. Yeah, it'll still warp no matter what. Like, if you add too much,
it's like, dang it. You have to plan a lot with watercolor. With gouache, you kind of don't have to.
Is it expensive to use?
I won't say no. Yeah, I won't say no. It just depends on the brand and whatever you buy. It's one of those, whatever brand you find that's the cheapest, that works the best for what you want, is how much you're gonna have to pay. This is like the school I went to, they only had so many brands that was convenient in downtown where I could buy them. But unfortunately, they were rather expensive.
Well, yeah, if you're talking about one that's near campus, they always have you buy the testes.
It's not even operated outside of from our campus or anything though. It's just an art store.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a store that knows it's close to a campus that has art classes. They're going to be a little bit pricier because they know if you come to them, you're buying things usually last minute. Like, oh, I just ran out of this and I need more of this and all that.
Discount though too.
Oh, of course. See, that's where the hiked price. See, again, it's that whole aspect of making you feel like, yeah, I'm getting a better deal. It's like, no, yeah, you are, just because they're making it more of the price you'd find at an art store if you took the extra drive outward. It's
I don't know. I
usually,
kind of felt like they were okay, just
well,
because there were
it
times
could
where I
be,
did drive out
you
and it
know,
was the same price.
at the same
So
time,
I'm
it
like,
could
I
just
don't know.
be how I feel about things. It's like, I always,
No, you're absolutely right. It's how businesses make money.
yeah, because
Like
they know that
they
they
know the
can.
customer, they know where they are, they know if you don't, you're not doing a business right.
It's
Like
true, yeah, and that's
that's why I
fair.
said like I won't say no that they're not expensive depending on where you get them, what works for you, blah blah blah. I don't know if I have any leftover ones. I have yet to find my art supplies. I don't really know where they are, to be honest.
Hmm.
Like I said before, I don't know where they are, but I want to get them out and work with them because I do have uh like Prismacolor pencils somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
that box that I really like using. And that's actually a brand that I like using,
The
even
Prisma
though
ones.
it's a bit more expensive because they
Only,
have the watercolor pencils that you can dip them
uh,
in water like brush pens, and it's so good.
well, see, that's like me with the Tombow. Is like Tombow is the one, the brush markers that I've really enjoyed. And it's really, to be quite honest, it was like the first one I picked up, and then I tried a few other ones. Like, I'm not satisfied. I've tried alcohol based ones. Like, I just feel like I'm about to get drunk, so that's not good. And not only that, but the alcohol ones do work differently. They dry a lot faster on the paper because it evaporates from it that much sooner. So it's like the Tombow, you get a little bit more work. Plus, at the same time, it's like if I really want to mess with it on the paper, I can actually use a little bit of water to still mess with it because it's water based. So it's like I was mentioning before, it's like I can get kind of that watercolor effect going on with some of it because I can still manipulate it when it's on the paper after the fact. It
Right.
hasn't dried out completely. As long as I have the water there, I can make my line and then dip it in water and then then really kind of drag it out with it. And it gets a nice added effect to it if I'm like doing a shadow or shaded area with them.
Yep.
So,
I haven't used like traditional stuff since I've been in college because so many people want things done digitally because it's faster.
yeah.
And like it's kind of unfortunate that you can mimic
Well,
traditional work in digital programs now.
yeah,
Because
it's just a
more
matter of
often than
figuring
not,
out
you're
the
just going
brush
to go
or.
straight to digital and be like, oh, I can get this texture, I can get this brush. But I feel like that also kind of misses the point
Yeah.
of learning basics before going up to
Well,
the next level.
there's also a big thing about you get a feel for, because that's also one of the things like I still have things like when you're using textured paper, the drag, the pull on your writing or your drawing utensil is different. Like when you're on a screen, there's no drag. There's nothing holding you back, really. There's barely friction between you and that pen tip. Barely
Yeah.
anything. And
Or
most of
so
the
you
time it
hope.
just gets and that's the thing, is like most of the time you just don't even notice because it's not the same as when you're pulling graphite across the, a rough, piece of paper, or when you're pulling a marker across it, because you can feel the bumps as you're doing it. Once you've done it so many times, you have that natural
Yeah,
feel of
there's a
what it
sense
is.
of control that you don't
Yes.
have with any kind of digital work.
Yeah, and
And it's nice.
that's why when you work in digital, it's like you have a bit more confidence. You can make a line because you sit there and you draw it once. I don't like it. You delete it, make it again. You get confidence in that because you can always redo it. Whereas for on paper, like every single line you make has to have meaning for you. And that's where that happy mistake comes from. It's like, why did I put that line there? Well, that's what I felt. It's what I felt was necessary in that moment. Then just keep working with it. And that's where the only downside of working on like outside of digital is there's a little bit less experimenting, because if you feel the need, like, oh, I'm just going to be wasting materials, then you're not going to be experiencing as well as you should. Once you get past like, well, I don't have to worry about like messing this up
That's
or
why
anything.
you
It's
should
like,
always keep a sketchbook.
yeah, well, and that's the bigger thing, is like sketchbooks give you the idea of what you want to do, and
you still, even when you're painting and doing stuff, you have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to waste material to see what it does, what comes of it. Because until you've actually experienced them, you don't know. You can't know. You can watch somebody else do it and get an idea, but until you're actually doing it, you don't actually understand exactly. And not like that, but when you watch somebody else that has done it like so many times, there's a confidence in how they move about it. And if you don't have that same confidence, you're going to make a different brushstroke every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what comes from practice, is that confidence in the movement. Again, I still firmly believe anyone can become an artist. Anyone can draw. Anyone can do this.
Just sit your ass down and do it.
Exactly. It takes time. And that's like with any sport. Like we can all go sit down and I can kick around a ball and play soccer. But
Maybe
in order
I'm
to perform,
cruel.
what's that?
Maybe I'm cruel. Maybe I'm just cruel for saying it like this because it's something that just comes off the top of my head. But if you think about it too much, and your ultimate answer is I don't think I'm gonna put the time into it, then you're just gonna sit there and you're never gonna progress with anything.
Well, that's exactly right. With anything, if you convince
You're
we
just
said
gonna
this
sit
earlier,
on
you
an
convince
indecision
yourself of a reality that you can't do something, then you won't do it. You make an excuse not to do it, and you won't do it. That's the thing, is like we can easily explain why I can't do something. Because that's us giving ourselves that moment is like, well, I don't want to give the time for it. I don't want to figure it out. That's really what that underlying explanation is of why you can't do something, is because I don't want to give it the time. And that's fair. You don't have to give everything time. Art doesn't have to interest you. Maybe you just like watching or seeing something done or observing it. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying I believe everyone can. But they have to give it the time. Any person can pick up a pen and draw. Whether or not you draw like a master, that you either got a natural talent or you have to put in the amount of time that they put in to actually achieve that kind of level. That's the difference. Talent isn't everything. Talent can be easily wasted. Because even with talent, you can only go so far until you actually dedicate and develop that talent, can actually become something more. Talent is pretty much just like a shortcut to getting through a bunch of the stuff. That's all talent is, because talent, like I said, is easily wasted. Somebody goes, well, I've already achieved this level in this thing, and like maybe that's all they ever need to. That's up to them. In order to get to the next level or become something more, they have to keep putting in the time. That's it. So talent isn't everything, people. Talent doesn't define anything other than you just get a simple boost in learning that particular skill. That's it. Or at least that's my philosophy. Take it or leave it. That's the kind of thing, you know. You don't have to agree with me. I just like to think that people have it in them as long as they have the dedication to make it happen. And that's going back to like when parents said like, oh, you can be whatever you want. There's the other sentence that's never said, as long as you put in the work. That's the difference. As long as you put in the work for it. You can be whatever you want as long as you put in the work. Gosh, I don't know what else I want to scribble across this poster, the banner inside of a banner. There's always another page or two of something. Because my end result, I most likely will be pulling into
Illustrator and getting really nice clean designs for this, and using vector art so I can easily make sure I can scale it without losing quality in the lines. Because that's going to be the bigger factors. Like right now, this is sketching out how I want to set up, and this is something I can pull into Illustrator after the fact. But you know what? For having nothing in mind and getting to this point, I see a lot of what I want. And this is most likely what you'll see at the front of the table. Is something very, very close to this. Once I figure out some of the other text, and I'll have to probably go look at our Facebook and take a few moments and pull out stuff and definitions and all these other things. The hashtag definitely wanted on there because that's an easy means of finding us across the social medias. But yeah, you know what? I think I'll call it a night here. I was keeping it easy on myself with, drawing and everything. Friday I should have Alaric joining me, and we'll do our Fusion Friday. It's becoming our thing. We'll see. We'll see what we make on that evening. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm happy for those that, said hi, that joined, came by, and any of the people that watch this after the fact too. Because I mean, it's a dedication of time to sit down with us and listen to us gab and talk about art and all that stuff. But we always enjoy when you guys join us. And always feel free to make any request. I'm more than happy to draw something here, because it's always a means of challenging myself, and I welcome that. I like, if it's something I haven't drawn before, well then even more reason for me to draw it, because I'm always looking to push my art style to the next point. And the only way I can do that is through drawing more. And that's what I'm always going to be doing. I'm going to be drawing more. Taking those steps, seeing what I like of my art style, seeing if I can take from other influences, because that's what we always do, is adapting, changing it. Because maybe I have there's certain parts that I'm not too happy with my feet, but if I find somebody that draws really good feet and I go, I really like the shape of those, maybe I like how they do the outline of it, and maybe I'll try it, see what it works. It all depends. All depends on how I feel. But again, really cool Comic-Con's April 4th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're going to be there all day. Me, Joseph, Alaric, Kayla's going to join us at the table at some point in the day. She's going to be with some friends, so she's going to be walking the floor. And here she comes back,
sorry.
right? Oh, no. I'm just wrapping things up.
It's fine.
You okay? You sound like you're about to sneeze.
I had a sneeze attack earlier, so.
Oh, goodness.
God. I hate being sick. I hate it.
Well, sickness is a terrible thing, and it really, really hinders work. If you ever want to feel like doing something. I guess
they found coronavirus people in Michigan, and
they're just hiding out.
County now, so wonderful.
Oh goodness. All right.
That's fun to be worried about too. Yay.
Yeah. Well, again, the only thing you can do is wash your hands. Try to keep from touching your face, and yes, the masks are good, but they're only so good. If you're really being serious about it, you need a face mask that's actually adjusted to your face, that is not very pleasant, because it's got to create a seal. Those masks are really good for you not getting other people sick, and possibly not getting airborne things, or even reminding you to not touch your face. That's really what those masks can be. That's it. They're a good reminder to stop touching your face. That's it. As I scratch my beard here. But yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it just it's hygiene. It's normal hygiene that keeps you from getting sick the most. And unfortunately, cold is one of those things that you're always infected with. You're always
Mine
capable
is
of
the
getting
weather
it.
change right now.
Oh
The
yeah.
rain and the dryness. It's really messing
Oh
me
yeah.
up bad.
Well, and that's the thing is like cold likes to take advantage of you when you are the weakest. And if it's a shift in weather, it can really do you in. Because I mean, we just had spring start technically last weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
It was just a few days ago now that I think about it. Gosh, these days are blending together.
But anyway, join us on April 4th.
That's right. April 4th.
Wash your hands before touching the table.
You know what? Maybe if they ever get more stock of it, maybe I'll have some sanitizer at the table.
Yeah, right. Like, all the stores are like gone.
Running out of it. They get bombed by every last bit of it.
I feel bad because like there's so many people that want sanitizers. We don't have any anywhere.
Yeah. See, and that's the only thing I could actually say that I'm kind of worried about is that maybe we won't have as much of a turnout because of that. I mean, it is a big fear.
That's the thing. If you feel like you need to stay home, then we just say you need to go outside.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah,
we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we would love to see, but at the same time, it's like if you're not feeling well, then it's probably best to stay away from large public places. Right. Well, because like, if you already feel it, like
blows over.
I was gonna say, if you already have a cold, then your immune system's already trying to work overtime to work on something, and it being a virus, it's your immune system is like, I don't really know what to do other than to help you just burn it out.
Yep.
And that's it. So the best thing you can do is for a virus is stay hydrated and just rest. Really, there's
cold, starve of fever.
Yep.
Sleep a lot, drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Use lots of waters.
Exactly.
Maybe a Gatorade for some electrolytes.
Yeah.
But
it's what plants crave.
Avoid soda though.
Yeah, as much as it it's tasty and everything, it's not as good for you. How dare you? But she's right.
I said blasphemous words there.
I know you really did. I mean, you should be able to have tea though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Definitely.
Like, at least decaffeinated tea, at least.
Yeah. So here's our little tips.
With some honey and lemon. This sounds good right now. I want some of your lavender honey about now. Dang it. Josh has so many teas here, it's ridiculous.
So you're telling me I should bring over the jar sometime and we just have a tea party?
Yeah, sure.
I'll bring my flower hat and dress, and we'll
just
be
don't
all.
Bring the fine china, or BoogieMan will eat it.
No. But if I had fine china, he probably would actually.
I was gonna say, yeah, right. He'd eat it.
I mean, most of the things, like I said, if I misplace it, I think that I ate it anyways. So.
I used to have fine china before,
Before I ate it. Before. Yeah. She had a creepy giant, was it towering?
Yeah, we'll have a tea
cardboard.
Party. You can finish Detroit Become Human finally. Instead of me
which I am very tempted to put up that video of that between Hank and oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. What's the android's name? Connor. Yes. That moment on the near the Detroit River, in that scene.
So mad at you.
I know. I watched it again just the other night, and I was laughing so hard because I'm
mad at you.
Because I was actually surprised in the video. It's like I'm really quiet. I'm actually not. I'm like, and I know.
Until the end where you just start busting out laughing
because I wanted to be quiet so everyone could hear the dialogue between Connor and Hank. It's like I don't want to ruin it. I want people to hear and see this, and then you yell at me for
how this man didn't get Connor shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, ride that line, that thin line there. Oh, that
It
was
kept
so
going
great.
from warm to neutral, from warm to neutral.
Oh, and then there was the time. There was one time during it that I noticed that it was a double negative that went in, and then
And I'm like,
it was like, oh,
we're just like, here comes hostile. Here comes.
and nope,
Nothing happened.
nope. And you were so shocked that it's like there's a little scene with Hank's hand on the gun. They said that that usually whenever I saw that means just like went boom right into like a gunshot. It's like
It usually just means he's gonna shoot you.
not on mine.
I don't know.
It was so intense because I was such an ass. I mean,
Anyway, this man that rides fine lines,
yeah.
and me, and
Well,
Alaric,
well,
and Joseph,
and
are all gonna be at really cool Comic-Con.
yeah, we will be. We'll be super excited at the table. You know what would be even greater is if we get enough followers, you'll see me sing.
Yes.
That's the bigger thing. It's like you'll actually see me singing.
21 days. Come on.
Just 21
Do
days. And I just, there's only a slight amount of panic that like went through my mind. It's like, oh my gosh, it is 21 days, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So I should hopefully see something in this next week about the pins. And then I get to finalize that, and then I'll see it. They said sometime between... I told them, like, they said March 27th. I'm fine with any time between March 27th and April 2nd. As long as it's here before the con. If
Right.
wherever you land in between that, it's just perfect.
Right.
So,
I gotta talk to you some more about that after you end this.
all right. Well, anyways, yeah, that's what I've been getting to is wrapping things up for tonight. So, well, thank you, Kayla, for joining. It was a lot of
sure.
fun.
I was just I didn't want to stream anything. I'm tired.
You're fine. You kept me entertained.
I'll just be straight up.
You kept me entertained. So, like, while I was working, that's a lot of that. That
My
means a
brain's
lot
like
to me.
not functioning enough to think of a drawing at the moment.
And I mean,
It's like
I didn't.
I've been asleep and then awake and then asleep and then awake.
I
I've
didn't
been awake.
finish everything myself, but I definitely have my design layout that looks really neat. That I'll have to tweak more of. Yeah, it's really neat. But all right, so with that, this is the BoogieMan dancing on out of here. Catch you critters later. Bye.